On today's episode of Warehouse Safety Tips, we're going to be talking about the second S of the 5S methodology, set in order. So stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. If you're a seasoned vodcast viewer, this vodcast is going to be different from most that you watch. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money, so each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the vodcast. On last week's episode, we covered sort, which is the first S of the 5S methodology. Once you have determined what's necessary and what's unnecessary, the next thing is to set in order those essential items. So here are 5 steps that are going to help you with that. They're by no means the end-all, be-all of steps, but they're going to be a great way to get you started. And the very first thing is going to be logical placement. That means having everything that is essential in the absolute best place possible, to where you're making sure that if you need it, it's there, and also in an order that if somebody is using it more than others, that it's easily accessible for that person. The next thing is going to be going through and having clearly labeled signage. So you want to make sure that everything is absolutely labeled and that there's signage for everything, so that everything is clearly marked. You know exactly where things are that you need and where to get them. The next thing is going to be making sure that you have designated zones. So that means making sure that there are areas that are specific for whatever task that you're trying to do. Next, we're going to be talking about ergonomics. So we have everything in a place that is going to be absolutely optimal for everybody, but you want to make sure that they're not having to bend, twist, reach too far in order to get those items, and thus possibly having some sort of a repetitive injury or just making their job not as optimal as possible. And last but not least, standardized procedures. Going through and making sure that these steps that you're taking and making sure that the things that are set in order are always in the most optimal way, and also that you're going through and adopting that Kanai attitude, that constant and never-ending improvement to make it better. So by doing these things, they're simple, but you're laying out a very profound framework on making sure that your facility is running in an absolute optimal way. So thank you very much for being part of another episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. Next week, we're going to be covering the third S of the 5S methodology, which is shine. Make sure that you're there for that. And until we talk to you next time, have a great day, stay safe, and here is a word from one of our sponsors.
It's scientifically unexplainable. It's virtually indestructible. And it's taking over the entire planet. But in a really good way. It's Mighty Line Floor Tape, the most durable floor tape in the world. 7 times thicker than average floor tape. Beveled to endure pounding warehouse traffic. And backed with a super strong peel and stick adhesive, so you'll never have to worry about painting shop floors again. Mighty Line Floor Tape, the only durable stripe.